Okay.
Hey y'all, it's me, Sherry G. So look, I don't know if you've ever had a dream that wouldn't let you go. And what I mean by that is that the dream it stays on your mind and you stay in wonderment, trying to interpret the dream, trying to get the meaning from the dream. I don't know if you've ever had that, but I've had that several times. I believe that dreams are messages. They're direct messages to whoever it is that's having the dream. And although they may not be specifically about you, there's a message in there. It's either a confirmation, it's either giving you direction, it's a warning sometimes. I've had dreams that were warnings. I've had dreams that were preparing me for a happening, something that was about to happen. And a couple of days ago, I had a dream and it was confirmation. I feel like it was confirmation. And I shared this dream with my sister. So I did write down the dream. I wrote it down, I sat with it, and I pondered on the meaning, and then it was just like a light bulb went off, and I got it. I got the message, and I shared it with my sister. But after sharing it with her over these last couple of days, I've been still thinking about that dream, and I'm like, why is this dream, still on my mind? And I feel it's because I am supposed to share that dream with you all. The message from this dream, it may not pertain to all of you. The message from this dream may not mean anything to all of you, but I feel like it's at least for one person, and that I would be remiss. I wouldn't be doing my part by not sharing my dream, because it's a message. It's an overall message. I got the specific meaning for me, and it may be something for you. So I'm going to share it. So just hang tight, and I'm going to come back with the dream. Okay, so let me share the dream. So in the dream, I was in my vehicle, in my vehicle, and I was following behind this huge white long distance truck. Those huge haulers, those used 18-wheelers. It was white, it was really bright, and it was wide. And I couldn't see in front of it, I couldn't see around it, but for some reason in the dream, I was just following behind it, I guess trusting it, and I felt comfortable trusting it. But then this truck, this huge, massive truck just abruptly pulled over on the side of the road, and I felt inclined to do the same thing. So it pulled over, then I pulled over, and I could see in my rearview mirror there were two other cars behind us, and they also pulled over. And I looked up and I noticed, because I was wondering, well, what is going on? I looked up and I could see the road ahead, and I noticed that we were all headed in the wrong direction. Well, we were headed in the wrong direction. So then I got out of my vehicle, and so did the two people behind me. It was two gentlemen. They got out of their vehicles, each in a separate vehicle. They got out of their vehicles. We just automatically crossed the road on foot. We left our vehicles. I don't know what happened to the guy that was driving this big white truck. But anyway, we crossed over to the other side of the road on foot, and then we headed back in the opposite direction. That's the way we should have been going in the first place. So we headed back into the right direction, but as we were walking along, it was like these big, I don't know how to describe them, but these big cinder blocks, maybe they were stepping stones or something, that we had to cross over. So we were crossing over him, and me, like the two guys were ahead of me, I was behind them, and I was gingerly stepping across. And the guy in front of me, as he went to step across one, he actually stepped on it, and he caused it to kind of pop up, and it popped up in my way. So then it popped up in my way, and I'm just like looking like, oh, what am I gonna do? This obstacle is in my way. So then I just started to walk over it real gingerly, real carefully, very slowly. I crossed over and I continued along the way. That was the end of the dream, and I woke up. And so, of course, I'm thinking, what the heck? What was that all about? Like, what is this? So I immediately ran and got my journal, and I wrote down the dream because I didn't want to let it go. I couldn't let it go. The dream wouldn't let me go. I kept thinking about it all throughout the day. And I was like, what is that dream about? So I sat, and the next day in meditation, it came to me what the dream was about. So I'm going to share my interpretation of that dream with you because, like I said, I know that it was confirmation for me, but it may be confirmation for some of you all, or at least one of you all. It may be actually a message for you all that it's not confirmation, but it's just telling you that this is what you need to do. So hang tight, and I'll be back with my interpretation of my dream. So y'all, that dream, it spoke to me. I mean, how often in life do we follow something or someone so closely that we can't even see our own way? We trust their direction without even stopping to ask sometimes, is this even my road? Is this the way I should be going? I feel that sometimes we don't realize we're going in the wrong direction until we're forced to come to a stop. And I can say that has honestly, like I said, this dream spoke to me. That has honestly been my situation recently, in working on a project, something that it was fun, but it wasn't the direction I was supposed to be headed in. And it was easy because I could just follow behind others in my own vehicle, using my own personality. But the way was kind of already created, right? The way seemed easy. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't my direction. And how often we do that, and then all of a sudden something happens and we come to this abrupt stop. And then we have to, get out of autopilot and get out and put our own feet on the ground. That new direction, sometimes it might not be smooth. So this is what I'm experiencing right now in the new ventures that I'm taking on. Sometimes, going in the new direction, the right direction, it might not be smooth, and there will be obstacles. Some created by man, some created by the path itself. By man, I'm just talking about other people, not a man, but, other people in general. And some just created by the path itself, because it's just figuring out, like, what do I do next? What's the next step? But the key is you just have to keep moving. You have to keep moving. Even if you move and you're moving slow, like you're moving with trepidation, like I was in the dream. I was moving slow. I was gingerly taking my steps to climb up and over the obstacle. And even in life, and even right now, I'm gingerly taking the steps and trying to figure things out. But I do know that I'm headed in the right direction. Although, I'm not sure, some things I'm unsure about. Like, is this exactly how I'm supposed to carry this out is this exactly what I'm supposed to take with me on this path? Is this who's supposed to join me? There are questions about things. And so you may have those questions. There may be some unsurety, like I'm not sure, do I turn right? Do I turn left? I just know right now I'm headed in the right direction. But whatever the obstacles are, you just have to keep going. You have to climb over it. You got to cross it. You got to take the next step. So yeah, this dream was confirmation for me that I am now definitely headed in the right direction. The direction that I was headed in before, following the big shiny thing, like it was easy. I could give it my own flair, use my own personality, but that really wasn't what my creative gifts were meant to do. That's not what it was meant to do. Again, I don't regret anything because I understand more about the project that I'm working on, which is actually it includes this YouTube channel and other things that I'm working on. But I feel good about where I'm headed. And I just feel like in life and the obstacle. So going back to the obstacles, when I think about the obstacle, I actually shared this with my sister. As it applied to me, it wasn't so much of someone else putting a block in my path as much as me putting the block in my path. I was in my own way. So I think that happens a lot. We get in our own way, and especially at this age, it could be I'm too old, or who's going to listen now, or I've spent so many years doing this thing, I'm not really sure. You got to sit with that, but you also, and you got to sit with that. When I say sit with that, I mean evaluate what is going on in your head and why. And you have to determine to get out of your own way, get out of your head. All of the things that you're saying to yourself that don't promote your well-being, all of the things that you're saying to yourself that don't motivate you to keep moving, all of the things that you're saying to yourself that are hindrances, that are shackles around your ankles, you've got to reword it. You've got to re-say it. You've got to pump yourself up. And sometimes you have to do that and be the only one cheering yourself on, because other people may not understand until you find your tribe, until you find people that will cheer you on, whether they understand it or not. They just know this is what you're doing and they respect it, right? Because I don't know that many people understand what I'm doing with my life, or why, they may question it, or I don't know. I don't even ask. I'm just doing what I'm doing. And I just know in my soul and in my heart, I listen to what people have to say, because I believe that sometimes there might be something in there for me. I'm not above listening to what people have to say and considering it. But I know when something resonates with my soul and when it doesn't. I know when something resonates with my spirit and when it doesn't resonate. And when it doesn't resonate, I just take it in quietly, consider it, and if it doesn't resonate, I just keep moving in the direction that I'm going in, right? So I just said all of that to say that if you feel like you're at a stop and you don't know, I think you do know though. You got to sit alone with yourself and be sure about the direction you're supposed to head in. And if you're like me, I knew, but I was in my head a lot, and I just had to get out of my head. And I'm going to have a story time with you guys, because my father had a lot to do with that, and especially after he transitioned. So I don't know, maybe Sunday I'll come and do a story time about that. Him transitioning was really what catapulted me to change direction. Him, when he transitioned, it was just a really weird time. I think I've shared that, but it was also a very inspiring time for me. And it caused me to sit down and really evaluate myself in my life and consider and reconsider some things. So anyway, y'all, that was the dream. I hope you, whoever it is, got what you're supposed to get out of me sharing this dream. And until the next time, I'll talk to you soon. Ciao. Hey, it's me, Sherry G. I just wanted to thank you again for spending this moment with me. If today reminded you that you're still growing, then we're doing something right. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell so you never miss a moment of growth, grace, and good soil. Until next time, stay rooted, stay radiant, and remember, you're not done blooming yet.